I said, but everything inside of my real estate agent training brain says to walk away. He goes, you need to shut off agency brain for a second. Agency brain is telling you the truth. There's a problem. Turn on investor brain now, where we solve problems in unconventional ways. He goes, you're going to call this person from our real estate club who specializes in repairing that type of damage and just go see what the cost is. So I did that and found out that actually this wasn't going to be that bad because of the construction of the house.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Joshua Boyd, is a realtor and investor in Georgia. He leads the JRB Dream Team. He's also a retired school teacher and also runs the Dealmaker Atlanta group. You can find him online at jrbdreamteam.com. Josh, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, I am fired up to be here. Thank you so much. Look, anytime we're talking about real estate's great, but when I'm talking about real estate with just kindred spirits and folks that get it, that makes it extra special. So I am fired up and excited to be here today. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And we were talking before the show. What a backstory. So, teacher and had a kid on the way, and you said, I got to find a way to put some more bread on the table. And that was the entry point into real estate, huh?
It was kind of crazy. So first off, 10 years ago, I had a rental house, and it pretty much everything that you could do wrong is what we did. I mean, that's a whole story in 20, but if you could do it wrong, that's what we did at that time. So I started to swear off real estate. I'm like, no. So I've got an 18-year-old, a 17-year-old. I'm so excited. I'm getting towards the end of this teaching career. I've done about 20. You got to go 30 to fully retire. And I'm like, well, if I can just make it, even though it's a long hours and I've sacrificed all this time, I've given everything, there's nothing left for me to give myself. But then we find out that we're going to have a baby again. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how in the world am I going to do that? And so I'll tell you this, and then you can ask me questions, because I'm really bad about, I get asked something, I get excited and start talking. But
no, go ahead.
I had this former student of mine. His name was Eric Vogel. And if you want to see a picture of Eric, dude's totally good looking. If you go to onpurposeinvestor.com, that's a group, and Eric and I kind of work it together. But I called Eric. So I was his teacher and throughout band. I was a high school band director, and he got his degree and he was teaching band, and he, was trying to mentor him. And he only taught 6 years, and dude walks out and retires. And is living life on his own terms, doing his own thing. And here I am, I'm 20 years in. I remember when he left, by the way, I was like, screw you, dude. You'll be back. You'll be back. Never came back. So I called him on the phone. Here I am approaching my 40s, calling this former student of mine in his 20s. And I was like, hey, Eric, yeah, I don't know if you remember me. This is Dr. Boyd. And dude, your life is awesome. I need to learn from you. What can I do now to become your student? And 3 years ago, that's kind of what happened. And it's how I got here. I kind of had to humble myself and go ask a student to become my teacher.
Hey, it's one of the hardest things to do. It really is. I mean, you talk about having to pivot, right? But then also, hey, how do I get these skills. And I've had this experience myself, not, going to a student, but then also realizing like I have to go into these rooms where I know nobody, where I don't really understand the subject matter, but I know I need to be in there, right? And I that's half as intimidating as the process that you went through. When you were on that initial call and then follow-up calls, did you have an idea like the segment of real estate that you wanted to be involved in, or were you more like, hey Eric, I'm an open book, like help guide me here?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
It was kind of, hey man, look, I'm an open book. It's so funny too. And Eric was really good in that he taught me about, before we figured out which avenue, because real estate investing has so many different wonderful pathways that you can choose. But he had me start by getting out a piece of paper and he goes, I want you to write down an entire day in your dream life. You wake up in the morning, what do you smell? What do you do? What does that look like? And then we're going to design a life based on your dream life. And so that was the first thing he did. And then the second thing is he goes, and this is the local meetup, which shout out to Danny Williams in Triple E that meets in Fayetteville, Georgia. They still meet to this day, and I still attend his meeting. It was my very first one. And Eric goes, you're going to go to this meeting. And I was scared to death. Like I didn't know, man, I didn't know anybody or anything. And I dressed up and then I get in the room and figure out all these guys got on Hawaiian shirts and shorts. And, but it started a journey for me I started way back at the beginning of feeling that I didn't deserve to be in the space to where I am today, where I realized that every person that's listening to this podcast, this call, or watching it, wherever you're seeing it, everyone deserves to be successful. And the true investors, it's a community that wants to help everyone get there.
You hit the nail on the head when you said like how scary it can be to walk into that room. That was I'm almost ashamed to admit this. There's been some rooms like early on when I was leaving Nissan and just getting into real estate. I was working in automotive, where I was like so intimidated to walk into these rooms. I would show up and leave. Like it was that bad for me. I was like, I don't know what am I supposed to, what kind of value am I adding to this room here, right? And then over time, just through like sheer white knuckling my way through networking, I ended up, being able to work my way in with wholesalers and then with investors and realtors. Then I'm going to foreclosure auctions. Next thing you know, here I am hosting a podcast and I'm a full-time realtor. Like that's exactly how it happened. So it's not like it's sunshine and rainbows walking into these circles. Like it can be scary.
No, but you know what? You did it because you took that first step. And to this day, I mean, what Eric taught me was to know what my dream life is, and then to every day wake up and take one step towards it. And what you just told me that you did, it's amazing how many people never get to that step. I mean, and there were failures along the way for sure. I mean, there were conversations at networking hour, scared to death. I fumbled over myself. I remember it's so funny. We were talking about that I have a real estate license. And I just remember how did I end up licensed, right? Because I found real estate investing first.
Yeah.
But I walk into one of these rooms and I'm trying to get this house from this guy who I realize now was just compassionate. And he was kind of probably chuckling on the inside. But he taught me a lesson. He goes, hey, you got to have a skill. You can either have time or you can have money. I have money. What do you have? And I realized I had no time. And I was a high school band director and nobody in the room needed a trumpet player, right? Like that wasn't a bartering skill. So I go, but I had a doctorate degree in education, meaning I am smart and I am book smart. So I go, I can get a license. And so I did a 75-hour course and I did it in about 2 weeks because I was book smart.
Yeah.
And I went back to the room and I was like, I know license law. I will do these things for you for free with zero commission. I just need you to teach me. Now, I don't do that today, don't get me wrong, but that's how I got started, right? It was just, I kept showing up, asking questions, fumbling over myself. So kudos to you, man, for like showing your power and just getting in there and be like, I'm just going to get in the room. How many
Yeah.
people do you know just don't get in the room?
It's funny because there was a couple rooms. There was Texas RIAs, the real estate investor.
I hear those are the best too. Like I know Georgia RIAs are great, but I've heard Texas RIAs is like where it's at.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Hey, there's probably some overlap, some people who've been to both between the two of us. But Texas RIAs, then there was also a real estate mastermind that I was going to in Dallas. And honestly, it was also just telling everybody wherever I went that I was buying or wholesaling distressed real estate at the time. And through those conversations, deals happen. And like the first time that it happens, it's like a switch goes off in your head, a light bulb comes on, like, oh my gosh, all of this effort connecting with people, there's actually a monetary benefit tied to it. I'm not just here just chopping it up. Like that's someone who I now have as a buyer for a property. Which segment of real estate was your first deal in? Was it single family? And how'd you find that deal?
Look, so my first deal that came along, it was definitely single family, and I had just gotten my license, and I had one of my first five. I can't remember if it was my fourth or fifth client, but I was newly in, trying to figure it out, and we had this thing happen. I'm trying to help them like figure it out, and they had a home inspection on their house. They were the selling. I was representing the seller, right? And oh my gosh, we found termites on the house,
Hmm.
bad, massive termite hit. And the inspection basically said this house is a fall down house. You should do nothing. And here I am stuck with this house that we really needed to sell for like $200,000 that we now know we can't sell. What in the world are we going to do? So I didn't know what to do. So I called my friend Eric, right? Because, I was like, Eric, I've got this. I know Eric's not a licensed agent. But I called him on the phone and said, Eric, what do I do? He goes, this is it. This is opportunity. I said, but everything inside of my real estate agent training brain says to walk away. He goes, you need to shut off agency brain for a second. Agency brain is telling you the truth. There's a problem. Turn on investor brain now, where we solve problems in unconventional ways. He goes, you're going to call this person from our real estate club who specializes in repairing that type of damage and just go see what the cost is. So I did that and found out that actually this wasn't going to be that bad because of the construction of the house. And that, to make a long story short, this house that was valued at $200,000, I was able to buy it for $90,000 to put $12,000 into it. And so I got to the end of that, like, holy crap, I did it. And then again, agency brain came back up, right? And it's like, now I'm going to sell it and make money. But then Eric calls and he goes, do you want to make money or do you want to be a millionaire? And I go, I want to be a millionaire. He goes, now we're going to talk about a DSCR rate and term refinance. I'm going to show you how to have it. You're going to put 4 walls up. It's now going to be a pad split. And instead of $1,500 a month in rent, you're going to get $3,200 a month in rent. And you're going to walk away every month that you own this house for $800 a month. And that's in addition to the equity. And it happened. And my brain went, holy crap. Because like for me, first off, I was a teacher, right? That little
Yeah.
extra $1,000 a month at that time of my life, dude, that changed my life. Like to this day, I feel like I'm like religious here preaching. Like I felt like it saved me. And I
Right.
got so excited. I'm like, if I could do 3 or 4 of these, which by the way, that's so limited thinking, right? But at the time, I was like 3 or 4. But yeah, man, it all started with a mistake that occurred that everyone told me was the end of the deal. I turned on investor brain and investors solve problems. And by the way, that seller was so excited that I bought that house from them. They send me Christmas cards. They brought me candy because they had a baby on the way and they were stuck and they couldn't get out of it. And I solved their problem. And so it was the culmination of all of that. And like you said, what we're able to do as real estate investors is we help people we solve problems. And in doing so, there is a monetary value for that. So today I tell people that I get paid to help other people solve their problems. And what a
Yeah,
great, I get paid to do that.
that's the name of the game. And gosh, what a great friend to have in Eric. What a great phone call, right? That was a life changer.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Dude, it was great. Now, there's been some funny ones along the way. So I remember the first time I found a deal right, and I met my first lender. So his name is Keith Gettinger. I can tell you, he's in Fayetteville, and I called him on the phone because, of course, I learned then, and this was a real hard mindset shift for me. I grew up as a teacher with that scarcity, that money is limited. Now I realize that money is abundant. But I remember when it's like, I need to buy this house, but I have no money. So I call Eric and I go, I found this great deal, but I have no money. He goes, why do you think you need money? I said, well, because you got to have money to buy the house. He goes, no, here's your next lesson. You're going to call this guy on this phone and you're going to tell him that it's a good deal because this is a great deal. And he's probably going to lend you the money. So I call Keith on the phone and it was the most horrible pitch ever. I mean, my voice cracked. I sounded like I was going through puberty, even though I was like 40. I was like, Keith, you don't know me, but my name is Josh. And because in my mind, like, why would someone lend me a couple $100,000? Like, no one would do that, right?
Yeah,
I
who
can't
would
give
do that, right?
me $50. I mean, my parents would, but like, not a lot of people. But to make a long story short, he shows up at the house. He walks through. He looks at the numbers. I find out later that, of course, he called Eric, and Eric said, this guy's trustworthy. Take a chance on him. So I go back to, if you're listening to this call, show up to the meetings because that's how people get to know you. And I learned then that your reputation, your integrity, just like money, your reputation is something that you can barter. He found out that I was a person of integrity. So he lended me the money that helped me do the deal. And by the way, for my last 6 deals that I've done to like this 2025, I don't have any of my cash in those deals. Repeat business off lenders, but that was another mindset shift of, man, people out there, they want integrity. They want people of integrity. So if you're listening to this call today, next thing I'll share is that if you're a person of integrity, you do what you say you're going to do, you're honest about it, you can make it in real estate and you have something more valuable than money.
Now, when we talk about getting into this space, and we talk about folks, teachers or, folks who have, jobs working for the city or any number of different jobs or vocations. Would you say that they can get in, get started in real estate as an investor through a similar type of thing? Because I pretty much dove in, and it sounds like in a large way you dove in as well. But is there a way to kind of dip your feet in before diving in? Is that a possibility for people who want to invest?
I absolutely think it is. We did 3, 4, 5 deals before I quit teaching because we had a baby on the way, right? So I couldn't afford to just run out and hope it all turned out okay. And that's something else I want to put out there. People will say burn the boats, and that is a philosophy that has been very successful for some people. It wasn't going to work for me because I had a baby on the way, right? So I couldn't do that. So I had to dig the well before I could drink from it. So there was a whole year and a half where I was a licensed real estate agent, a high school band director, baby on the way, like I'm power playing through it all. But the thing is you can do anything you set your mind to if you want it bad enough. My
Yeah.
friend, one of my coaches, I consider and probably like my number one mentor, his name is Reggie Law. And Reggie likes to say it like this: you can be anything that you want to be if you're willing to do the work that it takes to get there. So ask yourself the question, is 5 years worth the rest of your life, or do you simply want to live the rest of your life the way it is today? And
Yeah.
for me, I decided I was willing to do extra work for 5 years to have the rest of my life on my own means.
And whether folks are employed looking for an on ramp to another life, or maybe they're new realtors themselves. And I mean, as a newer realtor, seeing other realtors and seeing people who are like, man, this is hard, you can trick yourself into thinking that it's going to be hard for forever, right? And I've seen it and I've experienced it. There feels like there's like this 2 year or 18-month on ramp where you're going to be tested, where there might be stretches of time where you feels like don't make any forward progress. But then it comes in leaps and bounds too. And oftentimes it's not exactly like, hey, here's money in your account. It could also be here's a relationship which will benefit you in X period of time. And so I think that doesn't get spoken to about enough, which is like, hey, it might not be this and this and this leads to dollars in your account. It could be, but it could also be, hey, we're going to set up like the relationships, the background information that you need so that when you do run across that perfect deal, like a year and a half from now, you have all the dominoes in a row.
I think what you just said is absolutely fantastic. I would even argue that sometimes the greatest relationships are more important than the money. And so, we talked a lot about coaching and I've mentioned some of mine here. I know you've mentioned people that have opened up doors for you. And that's something too, I want to make sure someone listening doesn't miss that. Who you allow to speak into you is extremely important. The world is full of folks that are trying to sell the next greatest thing. By the way, I've paid for some courses and seminars and they were worth every dime, but just be careful who you associate with. I mean, the people I know, like I was at Pete Fortunato's course, I paid for this amazing note investing course that I went to last month, was worth every dime of it. But while I'm sitting in the room, one of my mentors, Reggie Law, what is he doing? He's introducing me to relationships and people in the room. And you just can't get over the value of the people that you met. When I was with my last brokerage, EXP, that's where I got my start. And I loved EXP. It was a great brokerage. And my sponsor at EXP, Jeff Richmond, he was incredible because what Jeff and his wife, Lexi, did is they didn't just show me how to do real estate. They introduced me to people in the room.
Yep.
Same thing today with where I'm at now with TJ McGraw. TJ, when I got to Real Broker, TJ goes, I want to introduce you to the people that can help get you from where you're at to where you need to be. And that's just something else that if you're listening, find those people that make you better and will take you to the folks that you need to know and introduce you personally.
It only has to happen once, right? Because I think I can speak for myself personally. Up until I saw a relationship where this happened, where it's like I knew this person, we were friends for like 6 months, never really had a deal that we were both mulling over. Then I call them out of the blue saying, hey, I've got this assignable contract in, west of Dallas. Can you take a look at it? And they end up doing the deal. We end up becoming JV partners on other deals. Then you start to think, okay, all this time was worth it. So that's definitely, a takeaway for folks is don't discredit the time you spend in those rooms. Yeah, you do want to be doing other things as well. It's not just networking, but that's certainly a big part of it. Now we are coming up on time here though, Josh. Any
Oh, man, I
projects,
was getting excited. I was into this one. This is great. I've enjoyed this.
any projects that you're working on, or how can our audience reach out to you or your team or learn more about what you're working on?
Well, first off, anyone can find me if you go to jrbdreamteam.com or if you email me at Josh at jrbdreamteam.com. Can I give my cell phone number out?
Go ahead.
Is that okay? My cell phone number is 770-639-5177. If you leave me a message, I will personally call you back. I'm always here to help. And I will just say, take one step. Today we do weird things like we found a property all my crews are out busy, so I couldn't take it down. So I had another friend who's an investor. I called him up and he got this house. It was valued at 150. We helped him get it under contract for 90. And then he figuring out what he wanted to sell it for. But then I called him and said, hey, instead of selling that at 170, can I just buy it back from you at 126? When your crew is done with it, you'll walk out. You won't have to worry about any holding costs for 60 days, which is our days on market. I'll just go ahead and take it from you right then. And that serves my purpose. He goes, well, I just don't know if the private money lender works that. But we were at a meeting. So I knew his lender because his lender had been my lender. a great lender. So I say, hey, come over here, Keith. Keith sits at the table. I go, here's what we're thinking about. Now, would you be willing to help us get that property from him to me so that I can do a rate and term refinance such that the original person got out of the house, the person that was then buying it got it, did the rehab, paid the crew, walks away with a quick $20,000. The lender is happy because now he's got somebody he's already worked with that he's secured his interest with, 10, 12%. We'll get an additional 60 days. And I'm adding a cash flowing real estate to my house, to my portfolio that's going to have $90,000 of upside plus $300 a month in cash flow. Now, how did I figure all that out? Because it goes back to what we said today. I was in the right room with the right people that inspired my mind to see deals that I could not have seen 2 years ago.
God
And it
bless
all
those
starts with just making the first move. So whoever's out there listening, keep listening to this show too. I want to throw that out there that maybe you can't get to all the spaces. I started off listening to podcasts, this one and others just like it, that it's like, well, this is your room for today. And just take the first step. Because remember, mine started with one house that was ganged up with termites.
The termite house. The termite. What street was that on? You remember?
It was on Burnham Road.
Look at that first house. Everyone remembers that first one. Josh,
I will never forget it.
thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity. This was great.
Thanks for joining us for today's show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing on your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. You can also check out the show's notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and even how to work with me directly one-on-one. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. See you on the next show.